Hey, good evening. It's July 13th. And guess what? I don't have anything to bitch about tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I did this past weekend. I actually went out of my kayak on Saturday and paddled from the Seneca River over in Jordan, New York into Cross Lake. And along the way, I had some interesting ideas, and I wanted to throw them by you and see what you thought. I'm going to leave you with this video right after the introduction. Enjoy. I decided to take my kayak somewhere new today. I am over on the Seneca River, a little west of Cross Lake. This is a site I found on the DEC website, so we're gonna go check this out. I'm gonna have to walk my kayak a distance here. I wasn't quite expecting this, but let's walk down here and see what we got. Well, this could be pretty fucking interesting because that is a strong current, which means I will be fighting that on the way back. May not be a great idea. What a beautiful river, though. I could launch right here. I think I'm gonna do it. That's a lot of water moving there. Alright, so being out here for a few minutes, one thing has become abundantly clear. There is no speed limit on this river. This part of the river is the Wild West right now. It's actually fun, so I'm not complaining. There's a boat coming right now. We're gonna go ahead and record the wake that this fucker kicks up because it is interesting to paddle through it. So let's see what happens here as I come by. The last boat at least beeped for me, so we'll see what we get here. But we'll try to we'll ride this one out. No, maybe not. Cool. Oh yeah, they're still going at a good clip. I mean, they went way to the left though, so they were definitely respectful of the fact that I was here. They just didn't slow down very much. So the wake's coming. Definitely a little bit more fun than most of the stuff you run into on the lakes. This is some pretty good river traffic. There's no houses along the river here, so I think that might be part of the reason why. I've been active for a number of years. I've actually documented it quite a bit on my channel on YouTube, but I've been active for more than a decade. Cycling, running. About 3 or 4 years ago, I started kayaking fairly regularly. But it's only in like the last year or so that I've really gotten into like real hiking. And only this year that I started climbing mountains. A few years ago, while I was in massage school, actually, I started reading a lot about Buddhism. And I was always very clear to myself and internally as well as externally to people that I spoke to about it that I was not aspiring to be a Buddhist. I've never been a Buddhist. I am not now a Buddhist. I was just very interested in the principles of the philosophy of Buddhism. And so I spent a lot of time learning about a lot of those things and really strived to apply them to my life in a positive way. And I feel like I did it successfully for a while, and then you kind of drift away. It's Buddhist principles, or just living right, is not something that comes easy. It requires a lot of work, especially in our modern culture, with the reactions that we feel necessary to make to social media and to politics. If you watch my channel at all, you're aware of my political leanings. So it's one of those things where you really have to work at it all the time. And I, through a really ugly divorce for a couple of years, and some, really striving to keep my business going in the positive direction, which it is, I have struggled with staying connected to the things that I learned by studying Buddhism. And during the pandemic, as it started, I mean, obviously it's still going on, but in the beginning, I was freaking out a little bit. I was really struggling with what was going on, and I decided that I had to get back into meditation again, and it helped immensely. But then I kind of slipped off that wagon again, which is kind of what brings me to what I'm talking about right now, is this idea now, after several times in the last month being out in nature, climbing mountains, being on rivers, lakes, there's an essence in nature that we can listen to, a peacefulness. And I know it sounds very new agey, hunky-dory, but it's real. It's a real thing. And when I'm out here, sometimes with the right music playing, or sometimes without any music at all, I feel that peace that I long for. I have a vocation in which I help people relax and help people work through their stress, and yet I am often a victim of my own. And sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's psychological, and sometimes it's physical. I mean, I, to a certain extent, abuse my body. But I'm using, and I'm going to use, my time in nature as a meditative state, along with some regular meditation. I think this is my own internal call to action to get back into a more regular meditative practice. It really has unbelievable benefits. But I just want to check in with that. I'll have more to say, I'm sure, along the paddle here. I'm on the Seneca River. I mentioned where I was. I'll show, obviously, there's a map right here. I'll show it on the screen right now. I am actually, I think it's close to 2 miles. I mean, by a quick check on Google, it looks like it's about 2 miles from where I launched to Cross Lake. And then once I get to Cross Lake, I just want to get a look around real quick. I've never actually been on the water on Cross Lake. And then I'm going to do this paddle back upstream, back to where I parked my car. So hopefully I can make it. It's going to be a challenge. We're looking at probably around 6 miles of a paddle, which is usually my normal workout, and I got plenty of time for it. So I see a lot of things when I'm out kayaking, but a whole herd of cows is not one of them that I often see. Definitely a first. What's going on, guys? Hi. Enjoy the nice weather today. I am out finally on Cross Lake. I'll give you a quick view of it here. So this is the Seneca River to the west where I came in. The lake goes on up to the north here quite a ways. It's actually a long shaped lake. Not quite like a finger lake. It's definitely broader than that, but it's not a big lake. But it goes up there a ways. You can actually see the end of the lake up there. It's not that far down. Over here is where the Seneca River continues on, and then I'm pretty close to the south shore of the lake right now. So this is actually my first time ever being out on this lake. I think I visited a friend here once that lived on the lake, but I have very little recognition of it. I think I might have been intoxicated, or it never happened. I could be just imagining it. So I wasn't looking for a long paddle today. I got some things I got to get back to the house and do, but I just wanted to record the fact that I was out here. It's actually gorgeous out here. This is absolutely beautiful. The river itself had an interesting mix of property types, everything from high to low, from weird to normal. and I'm sure that this lake is the same way. I know it's definitely more of a moderate lake than a high-end pricey lake. This is no Skinny Atlas, that's for sure. I would say probably closer to those that know the area, probably closer to like a Tisco. Again, though, I have very little knowledge of this lake. Looks like there might be a sailboat way down there at the far end, though. That's kind of neat. Definitely enough, just the right amount of wind. The clouds are moving pretty quick. It's definitely the right amount of wind for a good sailing day. So I'm gonna paddle back, and hopefully I'm not gonna fight the current too much here, and get myself back. Let's see how it goes. It's definitely very peaceful out here, though. Not a ton of boat traffic either. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed making that video quite a bit. I really have recently, with the time that I've been spending out in nature, realized a lot about myself. And I know I get very passionate, emotional, often angry here on the Daily Octane, as well as on my Sunday night project with my friend Mark, the Gentleman of the Jerk. So let me know what you think about this kind of stuff. If you possibly prefer this kind of content, I would love to make this kind of stuff. It requires a little bit more of my time editing, so it's not going to be an everyday thing, certainly. But I want to see what kind of reaction I get to this kind of content as opposed to me up here ranting. I certainly have plenty to rant about. There was certainly plenty that happened today, but I felt like this kind of content was a little bit better to get into. Tomorrow will be a completely different day. So if you liked tonight's episode of the Daily Octane, make sure you click like right there on YouTube. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you found me on Facebook, like the channel over there as well. The YouTube stuff is shared on my Facebook channel every day. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode of the Daily Octane, me out in nature, talking about my life, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.